Yep. Right. Okay, go.
Henry, I was wondering if you had some time, if we could talk about your upcoming review.
Yeah, I'm sure I have some time.
You got a few minutes?
Oh, you want to do it now?
Sure, yeah, come on in.
Okay.
Okay. Well, your review is coming up, and I know in the past you've had 2 really good reviews, and I wondered if we could talk about this one because at least from my perspective, there's been some changes, and so I'd like to talk about that. Are there some things that you'd like to talk about as well before we get to the official review?
Yeah, I have a couple of things, I guess.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get those written down so that I don't forget them. What would be one of those for you?
Well, the reports.
The reports I've asked you to do?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I sent out a couple of emails, asking about, why these were necessary, but you responded to them, but I really didn't get much of an answer.
Okay, yeah, I'm willing to talk about that. What else?
Well, I guess the position in itself.
The position.
Your promotion and then.
Oh, my promotion. Okay. We can talk about that. And then I have a couple things I would like to address before we get to your review. And maybe they connect. We can kind of see and feel that out. But a couple of things that I'd like to talk about is just, again, your, 2 things, first of all, I guess, and they're kind of tied together. They have to do with your productivity and then also your perspective or attitude. Okay?
My attitude. Well, okay.
It's okay. Well, I'm new in this position, and we have a new director, and so our goals have been set high, and I'm trying to work with this new director and work with our team in a new position. And so I just want to make sure that the work that we're doing is done well and we meet all of the deadlines. Let's talk first of all about the reports that I gave you to do. The reason, and I'll just remind you of this and then we could talk about it, but the reason I gave you those reports was because you were having problems hitting some of the deadlines, and these deadlines are really important for our whole department. And so in order for us to make sure that we hit those deadlines, I thought these reports might be helpful for you in managing those. Is that not the case?
So you think that because I was having troubles getting all my work done, adding more work would help me get my work done?
Yeah, I guess maybe that might not have been as great an idea as I thought it was. Are those becoming a burden for you? They're not helpful?
Well, no, not at all. They're not at all. It's just one more thing I have to do.
Sure. Do you have an idea of how we might be able to make sure that you're able to hit your deadlines and keep up the productivity for both you and the rest of the department without doing those reports?
Well, yeah, I can get my reports done. I think, and get my productivity back.
Okay.
And I realize it's not been as good as it once was.
Okay.
But
well, that's really the bottom line. If you can get your productivity up and get the reports done on time, then these added reports, again, I'm just trying to give you a tool to help you put things together in a way that would make sure that you'd hit those deadlines. But if that's not helpful, then obviously we need to adjust that. And I'm willing to adjust that, especially if you're able to hit your levels that you need to hit and productivity stays at least as where we were in the past. And even that's going to be a little behind of where we need to be because of this new director and what they're asking us to do.
Well, I guess a couple of things. I mean, one, just having to do those extra reports. I mean, that was just pretty humiliating. That is humiliating. nobody else had to do those.
Okay.
It was just that was pretty much a cold slap in the face, I thought.
Well, certainly my intention was not to humiliate you, and I'm sorry for that if that's what the turnout was. But like I said, I'm happy to be flexible with those. If you can move your productivity to where it needs to be, and also get the reports done on the deadline according to our deadlines, then I'm happy to be flexible with those other reports and just allow you to get them done. What if we set up like a time where is in the next few weeks, everything hits where it needs to hit. You won't have to do the reports, and we won't add them back in as long as all the deadlines are met. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's okay. That'll work.
Okay. Well, that sounds good to me too. I know you can do a good job, and I know that you can hit those deadlines, and obviously your prior work history shows that you can be productive. So if you can do that, that will really help me, not only with our new director, but help me as well, make sure that you get a good review.
Well, yeah, and my, my other performance reviews were always excellent. I always
Yes,
got.
I agree. I agree.
And, in fact, I was also invited to apply for that position. Not just, I just didn't up and apply for it. I was asked to apply for that position as well.
Sure. And I recognize that that's a struggle. I wasn't aware that you'd also applied or had been asked to apply. I was also asked, and obviously I don't have the mind of those that are in charge or call us to these positions, but I recognize that you certainly would have been a good candidate for this position, and maybe there's something we can do again, especially if we get the production levels up and the review goes well, that you'd be in line for whatever comes next. And I'd certainly be willing to give you a good review and help you any way I can if we can get those things accomplished. How's that sound?
Well, I appreciate that. I wonder, I wonder if decisions weren't made and if decisions will continue to be made based on certain other factors.
What certain other factors?
Well, in regards to race, that often enters into the picture, and I wonder how much that had to do with things and will have to do with things in the future.
Yeah, well, I know we have a really strong HR department, and I believe that they're going with people's gifts based on the best fit. And I really trust that they wouldn't either hold the race of an applicant against them or for them, but really it's going to be based on their experience and their ability to use their gifts for the position. So I don't see that as something that would hold you back or put you forward, but rather it's just a fact of life. And so, like I said, if we can get this review worked out and do it in a way that is positive for our department, I think we can work it out so that you could look for places to go in this company far beyond where you are.
Well, I'm sure you think that's a fact of life. I don't have as much confidence in the overall HR department as what you might have on how their decisions are based, because that's been a fact of my life.
Okay.
And something I've experienced before.
Well, I'd be happy to explore that with you and with our new director and the HR department if you'd like. But it still doesn't, if we don't get our production up and we don't meet the deadlines that we need, we aren't going to have the opportunity to grow and to do the things that we'd hope to do regardless.
Well, all right.
Susie set me up. So we've talked about production. The other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about was your perspective and attitude, and just getting some feedback from others in the office. And I'm sure this is tied probably to the position and and some of the other struggles that you've had just the last few weeks, and maybe even my piling these reports on you. But just again, in the past, you've always been easy to get along with and kind of a positive spot in the office, and just want to help you get back to that place if that's possible. Obviously the team spirit that we have makes a difference in productivity and hitting our deadlines, and people just connecting. So anything I can do to help you in that area, and like I said, hopefully maybe removing these reports and hitting our goals will help. Any ideas on that outside of those two things?
Well, I realize I've been a bit, down a little bit at work here.
Sure, and that's understandable.
And but I don't want to come across as being always uncooperative or anything.
Sure.
So,
Sure. And Henry, that's certainly not how you've been in the past. So I don't expect that that's how you'll be in the future either. I just want to be there to support you and encourage you and help you along the way so that you can do the best job you can, and also go as far as you'd like to go in this company.
Well, I appreciate that. We'll see how that works.
Okay. Well, I think we have a plan. The reports from me are going to stop at least for the next couple of weeks. We'll see how you do on your deadlines and productivity. Put a smile on your face when you can. Don't want you to be someone you're not, but at the same time, attitude makes a difference. So anything you could do to help me there, I would greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to your review.
All right. That sounds good.
Thank
That
you.
sounds good.
I'm done. Ray.
Okay, all right.